Hey guys, it's Drac and we're using the video goggles, but they are flat and obviously not on my face because you're looking at me. We're doing that because the current camera that I've had for like ever since the beginning of my YouTube career, I guess, is really on the fritz and it's hard to find a proprietary cable for it and the battery's just wearing down. It's been almost 3 years now, so that's quite the lifetime for a pretty standard point and shoot camera, so I'm pretty proud of that. Anyway, this is the Q&A video and I'm a little sleepy. It's roughly 11 o'clock right now where I'm at, and I've just woken up, so I'm still a little kind of groggy and tired. But I want to start off by making the Q&A video. I finally have plenty of things in my inbox. I'm reading them right now for the first time, so you're going to get very fresh answers, which is pretty cool. I have 127 messages in this inbox. You're welcome to keep count. I might skip a few if I think that they're overly personal or rude or poorly worded, really, whatever. So we're just going to kick off, get started, and try and knock out this video. Hopefully it's under an hour. The last one was pretty close. So question number one is Tanner Pierce. Says, hey Drac, I'm a big fan and I have a question for you. What are you looking forward to in the future of Nerf? I guess in the future of Nerf, I'm looking forward to like more sophisticated blasters in terms of their electronics. I'd like to see blasters that have more LED outputs or some sort of OLED screen with real-time information that's usable. I think that would be really, really interesting to see like some more intelligent blasters. I also like that direct plungers have been coming back recently, but I'd like to see Nerf kind of move forward in terms of their direct plunger design and like make more powerful blasters. If you hear anything in the background, the Draculina is making some sort of concoction for me to drink so that I don't dry out while I'm making this for you. But direct plungers would be sweet, more sophisticated electronics and blasters. Miles asks, what is your favorite Nerf gun ever created? I'm not sure if that's one that I've created or one that's Nerf has created, so we're going to go with the latter. My favorite Nerf gun that Nerf has ever created is probably the crossbow. I know that's a pretty cliche answer, but it's a ton of fun to work with, it's a ton of fun stock, and I think that it's really, really cool. I'm sure we'll come to that again and we can talk more about it as we go through. Ashton Collins says, hey Drac, I've been a fan for a while now. I just wanted to say keep up the good work. In the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be painting 10 Raiders and was wondering if you have any tips. Something about knives, show off your knives. Okay, so Ashton, the trick to any good paint job is sanding. There are a lot of Nerfers out there that like to cut corners when it comes to painting custom blasters, and the real trick to painting anything is a good clean sanding job that levels out your base color, and then probably like 2 or 3 good light coats of paint will do much more work than any one coat of thick paint would ever do. So I guess buy the right kinds of paint is a good starting point, and then definitely spend way more time sanding than painting, and your paint job should be just fine. Also, painter's tape is really helpful for blocking off certain sections. This is an empty email that says in the subject line, I really think you should do a homemade gun to give away. Not a question. Thanks, Nate Robb. My question is, besides Nerfing and Magic the Gathering, what do you like to do in real life? My contest idea is a simple random project with a grand prize winner that gets a few second place, some of the Nerf swords that you stockpiled. Okay, so the contest idea is sweet. We'll get to that at the end of the video if we still have time and I'm still feeling up to it. The question is, besides Nerfing and Magic the Gathering, what do you like to do in real life? I'm really busy in real life is the best answer for this question. Nerfing takes up a lot of time, Magic the Gathering takes up a ton of free time, and Magic is really important to me because running and owning a comic book shop makes Magic the Gathering pretty important, and I like to play competitively on a team with a bunch of my friends, so we do a lot of traveling for that and testing for that. I'm currently working on my secondary channel, Everyday Alchemy, really trying to get that off the ground so that I can make a little bit more money off of my Magic videos, so you should definitely check that out. I'll highlight it, and I'll probably talk about it a few times, but Everyday Alchemy, I'm going to be going on a trip to Indianapolis pretty soon for a very large tournament, and I'm going to vidoc the entire trip with my buddies, so that should be really, really cool. Other than that, what do I like to do? I like to travel a lot. I'm not from the States, so traveling back home and then around Europe is something that I enjoy a lot. In collusion with that, I like eating really good food, and because I like eating really good food, I like cooking really good food. So I guess like cooking, fine dining, and travel would be my other big hobbies. Obviously, I'm a full-time student, but I don't really enjoy that. I don't know if anybody at Georgia Tech really enjoys being at Georgia Tech. It's really tough. Can you make an HVZ loadout video? How hard is it to come up with all of these mod guides? So thanks, Curtis, for that question. I've made an HVZ loadout video about a year ago. My loadout hasn't changed. It's a really versatile loadout. The combination of a heavily modded Alpha Trooper and a pretty sweet sidearm of any kind, but I really use the lock and load, is pretty standard. It's lightweight. It lets you run fast. Running is very underrated in Humans vs. Zombies, and a lot of people could get out and benefit from a little bit of good exercise. So my HVZ loadout video already exists. Wow, Lewis Knight asks a lot of questions. What is your current loadout for HVZ games? If it has changed at all, to answer your question, it hasn't. Though both I seem to find have very intriguing voices. Which do you prefer, Morgan Freeman's or James Earl Jones? We're going to go with Morgan Freeman there. 3, if a YouTuber were to meet you in person, say at a restaurant, if you weren't feasting on the blood of your enemies, who knows, and they were to call you out by your YouTube name, what would you do and why? I'd probably say hello. I'd thank them for their viewership. You guys mean a great deal to me, so I would thank them for watching my videos, and I'd probably invite them to sit at my table with my friends and I and talk about Nerf or Magic or travel or food or whatever they're interested in. I'm pretty friendly. So, hope that's what you're looking for. How did you come up with the name of your secondary channel, Everyday Alchemy, and possibly the name of your current one? The current one is pretty simple. It's got a bit of a vampire flair, and Draconical is a handle that I've been using forever. I remember when I was a real baby bat, I was looking for something to call myself online and in letters, and just kind of a pseudonym for myself, and I went through the dictionary and I was looking for something that I thought would be cool because I didn't want it to be cliche and I wanted it to be original, and I found the word draconic about 200 pages in. I decided that I really, really liked that, so I decided that I would call myself Draconical, and as long as I was doing that, why not give yourself a title? That's a really cool thing to do when you're young. So I started calling myself Lord Draconical, my friend shortened it to Lord Drac, and the rest is history. Everyday Alchemy was just a good idea for a secondary channel. It obviously fits in well with the Magic the Gathering theme, but I figured they were everyday videos that I was doing just for fun, so I like alchemy, it made sense, it was a cute handle, and it didn't have to put any numbers at the end, which is important to me. I wanted it to be unique. What is your favorite meal besides blood? Probably bloody meat. Alright, how would a vampire of your kind, whichever type you may be, handle lack of blood or no blood for approximately 2 weeks? Would you be weaker, less fast, more hungry, etc., or would you not bother and you treat blood as something that you enjoy rather than you need, like a glass of wine or a pint? Well, as much as I like both pints and glasses of wine, blood is rather necessary for me. It keeps my energy up, keeps me healthy, happy, awake, and lets me do lots and lots of things. So I would definitely be weaker, slower, and tired. Hunger would be a little bit different. That manifests in different ways. Though this may be the oddest of this all, how would you properly cook a filet mignon? Blue with grapeseed oil on an open fire is definitely the way that I'd go. Adam O'Driscoll asks, do you care if a blaster is worth a lot of money, or are you just in it for the fun? I'm definitely just in it for the fun. The prices of blasters mean literally nothing to me. Where was your favorite battle located? Alright, so there is a really great field that Chicken Co. uses for a lot of its wars, and that's probably my favorite field overall. But one of my favorite wars was at a playground and portable place down in Florida, which was my first Nerf war ever, and that has a lot of great memories. It was the first time I started using swords in a pistol round. It was the first time I met Rogue, and it's a real shame that he's gone now. So that's probably my favorite battle, was at that field in Florida 2.5 years ago or so. Matt Antos asks, Drac, I've been trying to find quality foam for my slugs, but I just can't. I don't know if this question is the kind you were looking for, but where do you get your foam backer rod? Don't buy it at Home Depot or Lowe's unless you're just getting into the hobby. Your best bet is to go to nerfrevolution.com, go to the sales threads, and find somebody who's selling foam. I sometimes sell a very high quality black foam, so buy your foam from somebody that you trust on Nerf Revolution. That would be the answer. Aaron Reddick asks, are you selling your Drac bow anytime soon? Your giveaway should be a Raven or the Drac bow. And then he asks, can you make me a batch of Stefan darts for $5.99? Okay, so question number one is, are you selling your Drac bow anytime soon? The answer is no. I use it at Georgia Tech for Humans vs. Zombies because it's a great gimmick, it's a lot of fun, and it's not technically a Nerf weapon, so the Atlanta Police Department doesn't have a big problem with it. Can I make you a batch of Stefan darts for $5.99? The answer is absolutely not. I'm an adult, I'm a college professional, and I own my own business. My time is worth way more than $5.99 an hour, and when I think of a batch, I think of probably about 100 darts, and that would take me about an hour. So valuing my time at $6 minus materials, I'd basically be doing the work for free. That's crazy. Don't do that. A lot of professionals have issues with this. Never undersell yourself. Alright, so Red Army Ranter asks, he's saying, he's giving me like a list of his credentials, which I don't care about, and then asking me how to get more people involved and create a stronger Nerf community like we have in the States. So I guess my biggest piece of advice would be friendly, be open, be honest, make mod guides, make friends, start with Humans vs. Zombies groups at your colleges that's seen a large amount of success in our age bracket, and then kind of work your way up and down from there respectively, and just kind of keep at it. Like, start up a forum, start up a Facebook group, communicate with people. You should be just fine. That could be really sweet. I'd love to see more UK Nerfers. Cutter McCarter asks, have you heard of the Nerf Raven Stinger? No, I haven't. Taylor Smith says, will you ever show your face? This is a tough question. The answer is probably eventually into the future, because I want to eventually expand my channel into, like, not just Nerf or Magic, but like my life in general. I do a lot of things that I think are interesting. I do a lot of hiking. I staff a ton of conventions in the Southeast. I do a lot of traveling, and I think it would be really cool to like vidoc my life in a lot of ways, but I'd have to like kind of pull you guys and figure out if you guys are interested. Like I said before, I'm planning on going on this Indianapolis trip, and it would be really interesting to see if like you guys are interested in that, if my life interests you outside of Nerf, and if you'd be willing to commit your time and your viewership to watching whatever I think is interesting about my life, not just my hobbies in particular. So yeah, that could happen in the future. For the contest something, Jordan Sudera asks, this is not a question. Okay, moving on. Kevin Keller asks, what are your favorite blasters from the last few years? Do you ever get bored of Nerf? Yeah, everybody gets bored of things sometimes, but it's important to kind of like stick with things and stay passionate about your hobbies. And it's tough, like when you're really, really busy and you're involved in so many things, to stay passionate about a lot of different things, but it is not that bad. So I get bored, but I always come back to it. Like, my boredom only lasts a couple of weeks, and sometimes it's evident in my videos, sometimes it's evident in like my tournament availability, and it just depends. But yeah, I sometimes get bored. No, I'm not quitting Nerf. I'm super involved in it. I'm very passionate about it. My least favorite blasters from the last few years are probably like the really bad blasters. Like the Centurion was a major letdown. The barrel break was pretty bad. I'm trying to think of other things that I just wasn't excited about. I'm pretty sure if you go back through my videos, it's pretty clear. I'm almost always very, very honest about my reviews. Pretty much anything Busby made was a big disappointment. Trying to think. The Jolt was really cool. I liked that. The Elite Triad Jolt was kind of disappointing. It was sort of gimmicky. Really, the Centurion is the biggest glaring letdown for me recently. And everything else in the Elite line has been pretty decent. The Spectre was great, and then following that up with like the Strong Arm was just awesome. I'd love to see an Elite Maverick. Hey man, I've been watching your videos for like 2 to 3 years now, and you got me into modding, and when I found out you also play Magic, I loved it even more. But my question is, would you do some draft first, second, third with some pack, and can you post some more judge-related videos on Magic? Thanks for the question, Daniel Osias. I'll definitely make more Magic videos. I'll definitely do some draft picks out of packs if you're interested in that. And those will all be located on Everyday Alchemy unless I start moving my Magic content over to my Nerf channel to just conglomerate into one kind of This Is My Life channel. But I'm not sure if that's the direction I want to go on YouTube yet. I'd love more feedback on whether or not you guys think that would be viable for me. But yeah, I'll do some more drafting stuff. Nate says, "Hey Drake, my question is, why you never show your face? I've been watching your videos for a long time, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes I see your hair, sometimes I see your chin, but I want to see your face." Okay, so I am a very private individual because of a lot of my lifestyle and kind of like how busy I am and how popular I am. It's necessary for me to maintain a certain level of decorum and privacy so that I can separate my personal and professional life. I don't mind showing my face. It's just I like my content to focus on my content. I think that it's really self-absorbed to like post videos where I'm showing my face and it's mostly me talking, which is kind of hypocritical because I'm obviously only talking in this video, but I got a lot of requests for this video, so that's different. I think that my content should focus on my content, and my content speaks for itself is the best way to put it. So like if I'm making a video about a blaster, the video should be about the blaster, not me. So why do I need to show my face? I need to show the blaster and the relevant parts and how it works. If I'm making a video about Magic, I'm not making a video about me. I'm making a video about how to play Magic better or how to play with certain cards, and it should focus on that. So that's why I don't show my face. Is the Elite Alpha Trooper or the Rapid Strike easier to mod? Probably the Elite Alpha Trooper. Thanks for the question, Hakeem. I love my Singapore viewers. Camilla Kiffer asks if I'm ever going to delete my earlier videos, things about Vampire Teeth, things about my unboxing of Halo Reach, and then some things about my personal life and relationships, which I guess I could expect from one of my female viewers. So first off, I'm never going to delete my old videos. My old videos are like a little bit of a part of like my younger years. Like they were things that I was really into. Like I really liked fixing iPods and Zunes back in the day, and so I enjoyed those. The videos are helpful and useful to people, which is why I make YouTube videos. I make YouTube videos to share my knowledge with other people. So I don't want to delete them because they've already been put out there. I've already done the work for them and they're already helping people, so why would I take that away from people? Even though they don't really fit in my channel anymore because this became a Nerf channel, I think that they're fair game and that they should be up there. How long have you been dating the Draculina and when was your first date? So I kind of knew that this would come up, and we will do all questions about that at the very end of this video. So we're going to keep moving. Kane Parankar asks, why don't you show your face? Are you a vampire? Do you still have a girlfriend? Why don't you show your face? I've already answered. Are you a vampire? The answer is simple. Yes. And do you still have a girlfriend? We will cover at the end of the video. Hopefully they're not all like this. Aaron asks, where were you born? Thessaloniki, Greece. Then this is just telling me his Xbox handle. I don't play Xbox anymore, so that's not very useful. Thank you. Ian Thornton asks, if you can meet one band, who would it be between Black Veil Brides and Slipknot? I kind of like both of those bands in passing. I'm personal friends with the Krook Shadows. They're my favorite band. I know Voltaire. I know a lot of the artists who come to Dragon Con and kind of hang out in that circuit. I don't think that I'd really like to or enjoy meeting either of those bands. They're very showboaty. I have no personal interest in becoming friends with them. I'm not against their music. I actually kind of enjoy some of their songs, but I am not looking forward to them. If I had to choose, we'd probably go like BVB. Jackson Groves says, so it looks like you play Vanguard. Everyone has seen the deck boxes, so do you play Vanguard? If so, what decks do you run and do you watch the anime? Answers in order are yes, I play Vanguard, yes, I play Vanguard, I run Aqua Force, and no, I don't watch the anime, I don't have the time. Thanks, Jackson. Okay, and my inbox is requiring me to hop out of the view I was in and jump back. Okay, John Dino asks, do you feel that the REV revolver or CS clip system blasters are better for HVZ? What are the pros and cons of either? And dart chambering options. Clip systems are way better for HVZ. Simply put, you need rate of fire as well as quick reloadability, and the REV is more gimmicky. And that's coming from a man who loves revolvers and Mavericks more than anybody else. I am probably the biggest proponent of the strong arm in the community. I love it, love it, love it, but it's just not practical for HVZ. It's 5 shots and then you're going to die. Or run, which if you're good at is a practical option. Some of them have gotten really cool with their, like the hammer shot I think is semi-practical for HVZ, but it's still kind of gimmicky. You still need more than one of them, and you still need a clip blaster to fall back on so that you can just pump out a stream of darts if you need to. Bob Dylan, that's a funny username, asks, what are the basic rules for HVZ? And that's just it. Alright, so the basic rules for HVZ are there are humans and zombies. Humans get Nerf guns, zombies get headbands. If a zombie two-hand tags a human, that human becomes a zombie. The game is over when the humans either survive throughout the entire week or all of the humans are zombies. Cut, print, done. Alright, Tyler Ditton asks, Dudrak, have you ever been picked on for nerfing? I live pretty close to where your Magic the Gathering tournament will go, and Nerf is not very popular here. What should I do to make it more popular? Keep up making good videos. No, I've never been picked on for nerfing. Like I've said before, I'm a grown man and an adult, and I'm in college. You'll find that like a lot of the teasing that happens to you in your younger years in elementary and middle and high school is all very, very petty. Half the people who are involved in it aren't going anywhere in life, don't go to college, and aren't in the environment. So once you make it to college, you're pretty much golden. As long as you're good at what you do, passionate about what you do, nobody's going to give you any real slack for it, or flack, not slack. You should be just fine. So no, I've never been picked on for nerfing. To make Nerf more popular, make some friends, share your blasters, get them involved. Dustin Paneer asks, I'm a huge fan. There's one thing that bothers me. You never show your face. Now I completely respect the people that you don't want people to know who you are, but could you at least tell me the actual reason why you don't want to show your face? Again, I want my content to focus on my content, not me. That seems selfish. What is your most prized mod? From JJ Skates. Easily my Lilith, my most prized mod. Zach asks, what got you into Magic and what deck type do you mainly use? My friend EOC Dragon from Nerf taught me how to play Magic when the power went out at our apartment once and we couldn't do literally anything else for 2 whole days. And so he taught me how to play Magic. I enjoyed playing competitively. I used to gamble with poker and play blackjack pretty competitively before I got to college, and then once I was in university I stopped doing that. But Magic is a lot of fun. I like playing it with my friends. I love the traveling aspect for the game, and that's why I started playing, is because he taught me how to play. I mainly play control decks. EJMC Geary 71 asks, wow. First off, this email is pretty personal, so I hope that your wife gets better. I'm glad that you watch my videos and that they make you feel better. I'm really glad that you enjoyed my cheesecake and stroganoff recipes on Everyday Alchemy, and I hope that your family enjoyed them too. I hope that your recon turns out great. And thank you for the email. I don't really take a ton of commissions anymore because it's a time crunch. I'm going to try this. I don't know what it is. This is really tasty. Some sort of milk tea drink. I like it a lot. Derek Lapp asks, will you be doing commission videos like you used to? If anybody wants to take the time to pay me what my time is worth to make them a Nerf blaster, I will most certainly consider it. My commission email is what it's always been, and you're welcome to send me a message. If I do a commission, I'll definitely make a video on it. Devin says, love your videos, keep up the good work. Why do you always hide your face? We've already covered this. Okay. Alec House says, do you still do commissions? We've talked about that. You still contact me with the same commission email, which is camden177@gmail.com. Alright. Hydrak, my question is, what is the best unmodded blaster to use for HVZ, and would you ever play Yu-Gi-Oh? In order, the answers are, an Elite Alpha Trooper is your best unmodded way to play HVZ, hands down, and I will never play Yu-Gi-Oh. Jane Winkenfield asks, what was your first Nerf gun and what got you into Nerf? My first Nerf gun when I was a child was a Maverick. My first modded Nerf gun was the Fanger. So, Maverick, and I got into Nerf as a child because I liked Nerf. I got into Nerf as an adult because Humans vs. Zombies is awesome. Justin Wilmot asks, what would the contest be about and what would the gun be for it? That's kind of a question for you guys. I'm trying to figure out what to do for a contest. I'd like to give away a custom blaster. I think it would be better to do it instead of being like a luck-based drawing system, to have some sort of incentive for you guys to interact with me in a community way. It'll probably focus through Everyday Alchemy because I really want people to start watching that channel. Liam Cook asks, what was your first Nerf gun and what got you into nerfing and modding? I just answered that one. Matt Kenny says, so what is it like doing YouTube and what got you motivated to do so in the first place? Alright, so people asked me how I was making my blasters for Humans vs. Zombies, and that's what got me started making modding videos, and then EOC kept me making modding videos because he quickly became my very best friend and just motivated me to keep making videos, keep making blaster reviews, and share that kind of information that we had with the community and the world. And then, like, these days what motivates me is you guys. Like, you guys keep asking me to make videos and keep me involved and, like, keep making great comments, and you guys really make it a reward in and of itself to make these videos for you, so I think that that's really sweet. What's it like doing YouTube? The best answer is it's very rewarding when I get to, like, meet viewers or you guys post nice things, and it's very exhausting when you guys post frustrating or silly things and don't interact with my content. So, like, right now, the Lord Draconical channel is very rewarding and I enjoy doing it a ton. Right now, the Everyday Alchemy channel is like an exercise in love because it's really frustrating and tough to put a lot of time and thought into a video and lay it out and make the video and upload the video and then get 200 views. Like, that's a little disappointing, but we're going to keep going. Cameron Dunlop says, my question is not about Nerf, but I hope you will still answer it. What do you think about metal, and do you have a favorite metal genre? I like metal. I like metal a lot. I'm not sure what it would be called, but Bobololo and Chainmail Man both have me listening to metal bands, which are very Viking-oriented and Nordic, and I think that that's really, really sweet. So I like that kind of metal. I also like heavy metal, I think is sweet, but I don't like a ton of like screaming in my metal. I really don't like screaming in any music. I like lyrics and I like good synth waves, and I just like a well put together piece, I guess is the best way to put it. If you sunk a lot of time into your song, I'll probably enjoy it for that reason alone. Alright. Ethan Murdoch asks, can you put a Maverick on a long strike and make a video on it? I've already done this, actually. I made a blaster called an Ice Drake for a commission, and it was exactly what you're talking about, Ethan Murdoch. You should go check it out. The video is up. Stephen Gittner says, greetings and salutations. I'd like to inquire as to the current state of your eligibility to be hired. Could you inform us if you can still be hired to produce weaponry? Yes I can. My rates are reasonably pricey, but very reasonable. They're far less than like other crazy nerfers out there. Like, I'm not going to charge you $300 for a Stampede coupe. And so I think that my prices are far more reasonable, but again, I just don't have a lot of time. So if you send me an email through the proper venues, I will definitely consider your proposition and either get back to you quickly with a response of, yes, we can do this, and this is how I want to go about payment plans, or no, we can't do this, I'm too busy right now. Brandon Hart asks, do you prefer Helsing or Helsing Ultimate? I saw Helsing first, and I really, really liked it, but Helsing Ultimate is way better done. What inspired you to start your YouTube channel? I started my YouTube channel at first because I was really young and I wanted to make videos about how I fixed things and how I modified things, and those things in the very beginning were Zune software, and then like how I fixed iPods. It's how I made pocket change when I was in middle school and high school. I would fix other people's iPods for money because I didn't have much money at the time and I wanted to buy nice little gadgets, and so I paid for those gadgets by fixing the gadgets of my peers, and eventually people would ask me how I was doing it and they were interested in it, and rather than do demos once a week, it was much easier to just make a video on it once and show people how to do it, and they were very popular at the time. I think that the Zune video still gets a little bit of traffic from people looking for help there. David Burns says, if you're going to answer my question, please refer to me as Cowrip Can. Okay, well, that ship has sailed. I'm going through them in chronological order. Sorry about that. The Happy Dude Robox asks questions about Georgia Tech. I'm a big fan. I'm a high school senior. I noticed that you're in Georgia Tech, a school that I'm considering going to and applying for a major in computer science. I'm a computer engineer, so congratulations. I live a little too far for a college visit, so can you tell me how it's like, amount of coursework, student life, professors? Your professors don't care about you. Your coursework is going to be very difficult, but the degree is more valuable than 98% of the degrees on the face of the planet, unless you're going to like Caltech or MIT or Stanford. It's one of the most valuable engineering degrees on the face of the planet, so it's very hard, it's very difficult. Student life is fine, there's lots of fun things to do in Atlanta. And you get to meet me. We could be friends, so that would be really, really cool. The Nerfing community is strong around here, and I think that it's really, really sweet. So I will tell you that it is easily the most difficult thing that I've ever done in my life, including some 10,000-foot plus summits. So Georgia Tech is tough. Georgia Tech is worth it. You should definitely consider applying to the university. It's a very rewarding experience, although it is exhausting. Jesse Sawyer says, what is your favorite blaster in your arsenal? Is there any blaster that you don't have and would like to obtain? What is your favorite mod you've done? My favorite blaster in my arsenal is also my favorite mod I've done. It would be my Lilith. I've said that already, I think. And since I got my red long shot, there are no blasters out there that I want that I don't have, which is kind of cool. It's really nice having a collection that you're just happy with and not constantly fighting with. Tyler Brownlee says, hey Drac, I have a few questions. Do you plan on doing any other miscellaneous videos for your secondary channel? More Magic videos, more vlogs, more Vanguard? I see that deck box, ha ha ha. Yes, obviously I have every intention of continuing to pursue everyday alchemy. He asks, outside of nerfing, what hobbies do you enjoy? I've already explained that, travel, cooking, eating, etc. If you play Vanguard, what deck do you use? The answer is Aquaforce. Dylan Brocard asks, I am a huge fan of yours, and my question is, why don't you post modding videos anymore? I always used to go to your channel, and when I got a new Nerf gun and wanted to mod it, but unfortunately now I can't do that. A lot of the modding that's done right now is very, very boring, I guess. Like, modding an Elite Alpha Trooper is very similar to modding a regular Alpha Trooper. Modding, like, the only mod video that I think would be beneficial for the community that I really need to make is a Centurion video, and I just don't have a lot of time. Ever since I moved back up to Atlanta and transferred to Georgia Tech, I've been really, really busy, and it's very difficult to make modding videos when you don't have a lot of time, because if you can't do something right, there's no point in doing it. So I guess that is my answer. I intend to keep making modding videos, but it is difficult to maintain the uploading schedule that I could when my coursework was much simpler. Wow. Alright, Daniel Laborde has 5 questions. 1, what bands do you listen to that aren't named the Creek Shadows? Lots of them. I like Daft Punk, I like V&V, I like Gelb, I like Neurotic Fish. I go on and on. I listen to a lot of darkcore and a lot of techno bands. What is your favorite mod that you've done, including the Tron, Radioactive, and Fanger Mavericks that we all know you love? I do love all of those things. I definitely love the Lilith. What is your favorite human food? Probably steak served blue, with maybe like a balsamic glaze. That sounds really good now that I'm thinking about it. Question number 4 is, why are you so into vampires? Because I am a vampire. Why are you so into humans? 5, what are your religious beliefs? That's a really personal question, and I don't have to answer it. Ha! Got you good! Gregory asks, I mod a knife finder, the plunger slams against the inside, and I feel like it will eventually break. What do you suggest putting on the plunger head to make it not break? Lubricate your blaster properly, put craft foam on your plunger head, you should be just fine. Kyle Walker Griffith asks, are you still working at FCB in Alpharetta? I am a huge Nerf follower and bought that. I'm also a huge Magic player and would love to have my deck featured in one of your Everyday Alchemy videos. I just made a Selesnya aggro deck. Alright, this is a very Magic intensive question. A lot of Nerf viewers will not understand it. I just recently took on a manager position at a different game store, so I will be leaving FCB very, very soon. I'll do a tour of the new store if there's any interest of that, and I'm looking forward to that change. Yeah, I'd love to crunch your Selesnya aggro deck with my blue-white control. Absolutely, we should hang out sometime. Feel free to approach me at a large Magic tournament in our state sometime. George Howlett sends an empty email. Thanks, man. Now he sends one that has things in it. Okay. This is just comment suggestions and telling me that he likes my Halo videos for Nerf. So I guess he likes the, I guess he likes the battle rifle, which is really flattering. Thanks, George. Terrence Tagudar says, when are you going to do an Elite Alpha Trooper mod guide? It's just not necessary. Like, the Elite Alpha Trooper has a direct plunger system, so you mod it like a Knight Finder and you take it apart like an Alpha Trooper. I have videos that explain both of these concepts in depth. If you watch both of them, you should be just fine. Ryan Adolph asks wow, this is a ton of questions. Okay, so there are 13. First question, do you ever regret starting the hobby of Nerf modding? Because sometimes I do. No, I don't ever regret it. I love it. Have you ever seen Cooper UIN13 videos, and are you threatened by them or no? Yes, I've seen their videos. No, I don't watch them regularly, and I find the idea of being threatened by people who are just as pleasant and harmless and hilarious as I am laughable. Like, why would you ever be afraid of somebody who is also a goofy Nerf modder, and they're both smaller men than I am, so why would I worry about that? Have you ever had to watch someone else's videos to know what to do in modding? No, not really. If I ever need like help with something, like when I first started getting into homemades, I usually just ask one of my friends. I have really good friends in the Nerfing community, and Bobololo and Nam and EOC, so with that kind of in my back pocket, I don't really have to look for help outside of that. Have you ever had to refer to your own videos when modding? I have done that before. Question number 5 is, who is your current girlfriend? The simple answer is Draculina. The complicated answer we'll get to at the end of this video. 6, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good of a modder do you think you are? I'm probably like a 9. I can make just about anything, but I think that there's always room for improvement, and to give yourself a 10 on a scale out of 10 would be ridiculous. Nobody can be a 10 out of 10 in a hobby that they're constantly learning in. That would be crazy. 7, are you a real vampire, and if so, were you bit, or were your mom and dad vampires too? The answer is yes, and I went through a process called awakening, which has nothing to do with either of those concepts. So, question number 8 is Apple or Microsoft? The answer is Microsoft. I love my Zune. Crazy though that makes me. 9, how do you grow a channel? You grow a channel by doing the right thing, making good videos, and continuing to make those videos in spite of everything. I'm currently fighting through that kind of trying to break the glass ceiling deal on my Everyday Alchemy channel, and all I can tell you is that it's tough and you have to keep at it. 10 is Nerf modding your primary hobby or Magic or other. It's tough. I'd say that they're like neck and neck. Like, I really enjoy Nerfing for the physical aspects of it, and I really enjoy Magic for the mental aspect. So, I think it's important not to get too engrossed in any one thing. So I like both of them. Not asking you to show your face, but why don't you show your face? We've covered that. Would you please do a mod exchange with me? And if so, I will tell you my email with information. Probably not. I just don't have the time right now, but I appreciate your interest. I found this picture of you. Would you check the picture and tell me if it's you? It's definitely not a picture of me. So there we go. Alright, next. What's your favorite Nerf gun that you've made? Got it. Okay, so Death Ninja Kitty asks, if purple zebras took over the earth and forced everyone to eat potatoes for the rest of their life, and you were the only one capable of stopping them because you are so awesome, then what Nerf gun would you use to kill the aliens, assuming Nerf darts are fatal to aliens? This is a very flattering and confusing question. I'm not sure why purple zebras would be more vulnerable to foam than anything else, but that's kind of cool. And I would probably just... I don't know, if I'm responsible for the entire planet's well-being, I think that we have to take the Death Dealer in, because nothing else is as reliable and has served me as well. Joey Femia asks, why have you not made a video on the Fanger Knight Mav? Because it's not finished quite yet. It's just kind of something that I'm tinkering with, and the catch mechanism is still a little wonky, so I don't want to make a video on something that I don't think is perfect. Mint Macladon asks, I'm a huge fan. Are you artistic, like in drawing, and if so, will you draw us a picture? I think you should do a contest. Okay, so the extent of my artistic ability is in 3D. I could sculpt you something, I could weld you something, I could forge you something, but I cannot draw you anything. I'm terribly sorry. My 2D blueprinting ability does not exist beyond like simple schematics and diagrams. 2 questions. Will you be doing commissions for the Nerf Strong Arm, and if so, roughly what would it cost? And Hammer Shot, what would it cost? Prices for commissions are all done on a one-to-one basis, and I do them through my commission email, so you're welcome to message me along that vein. Alex Jagger says, what did you do before nerfing? What is your favorite game type for Nerf? My favorite game type for Nerf is easily wingman pistols. I get to just carve people up. We very rarely lose, EOC and I. And so that's my favorite game type. And then what did I do before nerfing? I guess the best answer is like a little bit of everything, same as now. What is a blaster that you want Nerf to release? I'd like Nerf to release some sort of rotating shotgun. So like to be clear there, I want a Revolution system revolver that has shotgun blast darts. So like 3 in a cylinder, very similar to what they did with that terrible blaster, the Zombie Strike shotgun. I want those style of shells locked in so that they don't fly out, because that's a terrible design, in a revolver that has 6. So 6 shots of 3 each would be 18 shots, and it would be rapid fire. I think that would be sweet. Devin says, why don't we ever get to see your face? Done. Tarek Siddiq says, can you explain why you won't show your face? Done. William Culbertson says, Drac, were you born in Greece? We've answered that. Gavin DeMars asks, how do you get a partnership with Nerf? You be professional, you make solid and honest videos, and then when they contact you, you're very polite, you're very humble, and you accept their generous offer. Adam Brown says, hi, would it be possible for you to make me a Spartan shot? And if so, let me know how much. Do you ship all over the world? The last Spartan shot I sold for about $300. If that's something that you're looking at, we can probably do a little bit cheaper than that. That was a crazy eBay listing. So yeah, I'd definitely make a Spartan shot for a little bit less than that. I could provide the long shot, and you should contact me through my commission email, because that's how this works. This is a Q&A video. Thanks, Adam Brown. Marion Cabretti says, Nerf Strife engine replacement. I want to sell my blaster for a lot of money, but with that comes quality. I think the seller would be more interested in these motors. Okay, it sounds like you're trying to ask for logistical business advice, and that's something that you're going to have to figure out on your own. Sell the best product you can at the best price you can afford to sell it at, but don't undervalue your time. That's all I have for you, Marion. Miles asks, why don't you do homemades? My second would be, what is your favorite 2013 blaster? My favorite blaster of 2013 is the Elite Alpha Trooper. I do make homemade blasters, I just don't care for them. They're ugly, and they're kind of gaudy, and they're sort of bulky. I've made a snap before. It was not the best snap ever, and I have Nerfomania to make me awesome homemade, so I never really got that into it. That said, the Lilith has homemade custom internals, and I'm pretty proud of those. Going on. Joseph Peterson, my question is, are you familiar with the RWBY web series made by Rooster Teeth? No, I'm not. Oswald asks, will you please tell all the idiots why you don't show your face so they'll shut up? I've already done that, thank you. Evan Paramba says, what is your favorite mod you've ever done? That's the Lilith. And then we have to do this weird thing where we're 50 emails in again, and we have to change back. So these will be the last 50. Whoa, I am tired. Okay. Anders Johansson is just asking me for a shout out. If you don't do anything exceptional, I'm not going to give you a shout out. I'm sorry. If I gave everyone who asked me a shout out, my channel would be nothing but shout outs, and then you wouldn't want to watch it. Henry Snyder says, do you have a Facebook page? Yes, I do. It's Lord Draconical. How do you get Nerf to send things to you, and is it free? Yes, it's free, but it goes on my taxes because of our business partnership. How old are you? Age is old. Do you speak a language other than English? Yes, I speak Greek fluently and Spanish kind of like So I speak those. When is your death day, birthday? My death day is March 27th. Are you asking too many questions? No, people have asked way more questions than you. Thanks, Henry. Avery Pope asks a lot of questions. He says that he lives near Georgia Tech, 3 miles away, and he wants to meet me. You're more than welcome to work out through my personal email or my Facebook page, like some sort of like come meet me on campus deal. That's fine. I love my fans. Dylan Miamides? We're just going to go with Dylan. Dylan asks, are you planning to propose to Draculina, and will you film it? We'll cover that at the end. How hard was it for you to get into a contract between you and Hasbro? It was really simple. I refused their cease and desist orders, and then we came to a very smooth agreement where they send me blasters and I promote their products, and I'm good for them and they're good for me. Do you play an instrument? I have no musical ability, but I am a really good whistler. So that's about it. Would you ever consider going as far away from home like Minnesota? Considering that I've been as far away from home as Italy, I think that I'd be just fine traveling to Minnesota. If you were ever in Minnesota, would you want to have a Nerf war with me? Sure, but there's no reason for me to go to Minnesota unless there's a very large Nerf war or a Magic or poker tournament with a heavy pot. Alex asks if I am still dating the Draculina. Later. Sean Cleveland says, how long have you been modding? What was your favorite mod? You can track my modding career all the way back through my videos. I don't know the exact time frame there, but that's what it is. Angus Robertson asks what my dream job is. My dream job is, I don't know, really. Life is hard. Figuring out what you want to do with your life is very tricky. I guess, like, the best answer I have for you is right now I really enjoy what I do. I enjoy running a comic book shop. I enjoy playing Magic competitively and making money doing that. I enjoy nerfing competitively, and I enjoy being a student, sort of. I enjoy certain aspects of being a student. But as for what I want to do as like my career professionally, I wouldn't mind working for Zing or Hasbro or Wizards or anything. I like making things, and I like making things that make people happy. I'm a engineer professionally by trade, and I've had one job offer where I would have been making like actual weapons, and I turned it down because the idea of creating things that don't make the world a better place does not really appeal to me. Joe Kaser asks if I could make a contest. Yeah, we're working on that. Ben Evans asks, why don't you show your face? How does the commission thing work? If I had a commission, how does it work? My commission would be a steampunk maverick. All of this has been covered, Ben. Hi, Drac. I just want to say that I'm a huge fan. My name is Alex Clinton. Can we have a mod guide for the Rapid Strike? Sure. Do you know what happened to Germ? Germ is an adult with children and a wife, and he just got too busy for Nerf. How is Bobo? Bobo is great. Bobo's hilarious. Which would you use, Slugs or Steffens? I prefer Steffens. Tell Draculina I said hi. And are you planning on getting a Busby Panther? I own a Panther. I make Busby videos occasionally. The Draculina is right here, so hi! And that pretty much covers all of your questions. Can you please make Nerf guns that look like Call of Duty? No. I'll make Nerf guns that look like what I want them to look like, and if they happen to look like Call of Duty guns, then that's on you. Thanks for the question. When did you start an interest in Nerf, and how many Nerf guns do you have? I probably have 400 Nerf guns now, and that's a guess. It's probably an undercutting guess, but that's what I got. And my interest in Nerf started when, like, my real interest in Nerf started when my YouTube channel turned in that direction. Why don't we ever see your face? Nope. Chris Rivera, if we want to do a commission, nope. Alright. Austin Tourley says, commission, nope. Jonathan B. asks if I'd like to integrate a small gun into the stock of any Nerf gun, like a Raider stock attached to an Alpha Trooper with a miniature blaster in it. I've thought about doing this. It would be really cool to put an air blaster in a stock. I might do it in the future. Thanks for the question. Duncan12 says, I've watched a lot of your videos and I've been wondering, does Nerf send you guns that you review and you mod for free, or do you buy them yourself? It's a combination of both. Usually, these days, they send me Nerf guns and I mod them. They do not charge me for this, and I don't charge them for making advertising videos for them, so we have a win-win situation. I used to buy them all myself, so I guess that's the way that goes. James Barnhart asks, what gun/Zingbo do you think is the best stock? I may have another question. I've seen in the range tests that the Centurion is bad. Could you get another Centurion? I've played with 3 separate Centurions at this point. They're all terrible. It's a bad blaster. End of story, period. Done. What gun is the best stock? Probably the Elite Alpha Trooper is the most versatile. I've said that like 8 times this video. The Alpha Trooper is one of the best Nerf designs, hands down, period. And the Elite version is pretty good. The Zingbo that are best stock are the most recent one that I did in the range test with the Centurion. What email blog can I contact you for a commission? It is stillcamden177@gmail.com. Nathaj asks, can you show how to make HD vids and intros for my gaming channel? I don't care about your gaming channel, so even if I knew how to do these things, I would not. Crafter says, do a draw my life. I'm 10. I have no idea what that means. Draw my life. Okay. Che Melee says, hey, my name is Che, and I'm probably your biggest fan. I've got like 8 channels, and they're all subscribed to you. Any words of wisdom, as I have a small-time airsoft channel, but I want to expand into Nerf. Could you maybe send me one of your Nerf guns to review? You could buy one of my Nerf guns. It's really cool that you are in Northern Ireland. Perhaps I'll visit sometime. And my best piece of advice is keep making videos, keep communicating with your community. 2 questions. What is your most valuable blaster, both money-wise and sentimentally? And then, do you have any luck obtaining the red long shot? Yes, I did get a red long shot. That's why you haven't heard about it. I was very pleased when I did come into one. A viewer sent it to me, and I thought that was really sweet. My most valuable blaster is actually the most valuable blaster in the world for Nerf, which is the Lilith, easily the most valuable blaster, which is why it's in that video title. And my most sentimental blaster would be my Fanger, because it's what got it all started. Stephen Tung asks if there will be any more Mega Series guns. Do you think that it was just a one-of and there will be no more Mega guns? I sure hope that they're not making any more Mega guns. Things that I can't talk to you about lead me to believe that there will be more, but it's going to be bad. Next. Hunter says, what about an HVZ giveaway? We send you a pic of our HVZ loadout and you send us something. That's a pretty cool idea. I like that. It's a better contest. Hey Drac, I've seen a lot of your videos. Do you have any advice for new modders? For new modders, start small, buy a Dremel, keep at it. Don't get discouraged. Benjamin Dipple says, how much do you charge for commissions for someone out of America or Australia? If so, how much do you charge? The price of the commission is going to be the same. The price of shipping is what's going to kill you. I sent a long shot to a kid in Australia once, and it cost like $40 American dollars to send to Australia, which is pretty extensive. Kevin Lynch says, hi, my name is Kevin, and what are your favorite kind of mods? Recreating mods like from Halo or performance mods like the Sophia? I love them all. I don't have a favorite. They're all good. Replicas are fun for cosplay, and performance mods are fun, and painting is always good. Peter asks, how many blasters do I own? I probably own about 400. Probably more than that. Justin Grout says, would you ever consider the Strife as a primary for HVZ? No. Lightning EX says, do you speak any other languages? The answer is yes, we've covered that. Dakota Chile says, don't know if we're supposed to give names, but my name is Dakota. Too late. Question, how'd you get started? How can someone like me do it? Solid place. Your best place to start is with a Maverick. Grab a Maverick, crack it open, knock out the ARs, have a blast. Not a lot of heavy tools required for that. If you want to follow up and you enjoy it, buy a Dremel. Dan Rinke says, your best Nerf gun, Dan. Either my Rainbow Pump from Nerfomania, the Lilith, or the Alpha Trooper Death Dealer, depending upon what I want to do. Hey Drac, I designed a new grenade. Review it. This is not a question. Che is back and he's asking the same thing. Alright, next. Wow, we only have 15 left. This is great. Isaac Anest asks, how tall are you? The answer to that question is simple. I am very, very tall. I'm also very, very thin. So I'm very tall and very thin, and my exact measurements are not necessary. It's that simple. Taylor Herbert says, what is your opinion on Yu-Gi-Oh! To Magic? I've never played Yu-Gi-Oh! And I never want to. Magic is awesome and you can make a lot of money doing it. So that's my opinion. What's your favorite Nerf gun you've ever worked on? That's a toss-up. The Tron Mavericks were a blast to work on. Working with EL wire like that was sweet. That's it. Alright. Justin Grout says, who'd win in a Nerf war, Master Chief or Bobololo? Come on, that's not even hard. Like, Master Chief would lose so hard, it's not even funny. Master Chief would try and shoot Bobo, and then Bobo would win because Bobo's real and Master Chief is imaginary, and it's really easy to kill imaginary things. If Bobo stops believing in Master Chief goes away, and Bobo just flat out wins. It's probably not the answer you were looking for. Ultra asks, how do I get contacts like the ones that you have? You get free blasters and bows from various companies because they want you to review. Do you send them an email asking to negotiate, or do they see what you've done and seek you out? You're way better off in any negotiating position if somebody is seeking you out. So your best bet is to, A, both of these companies came to me, but B, the best thing that you can do is build up a community around something that you're passionate about and prove that you're good at what you do in that community, and then people will find you. Like, it's the same theory behind going to college. If you go to a good university, companies will seek you out. Samuel Hayes asks if I have ever been to New Hampshire, Maine, Massachusetts to do HVZ. I'm planning on doing APOC one of these years with EOC. It's quite the drive up there. We might fly, but if we fly, we have to UPS ship our blasters, which is a pain. And what we'd really need to go to APOC is we'd need somebody to stay with up there, because while we can afford the hotel, I'd much rather eat really well, like in somewhere cool, like New York or something. And so I'd rather And we're back. Okay, so the video goggles overheat sometimes. I'm not sure how long we've been filming at this point, but they overheated. I ended up downloading the data off anyway, so it just took a while, but we're back and we're fixed, which is hilarious because we were so close we could see the finish line. We were on email 11 out of 125. So, this one is, my name is Sam, and I was wondering if you'd ever travel to Maine. Like I said, I'm looking at going to APOC, so that'll be cool. I'm not sure where the video cut off last time, but I'm looking to go to APOC eventually, and that's in that area, and that'll be neat. So, email 10. The Danny Flame says, when is your death day? I've answered that. It is the 27th of March. Isaac Arnis says, are you still doing promos? I'll promote things that I think are really cool, like when things like Remedy Metal come up and they send me something neat and I think that it's interesting and relevant to my channel, I'll promote them. If you come up with something that's unique and you send it to me, I'll promote it. But like, when people who have like 5 videos on their channel and there's nothing really unique about their content come to me and they're like, Drake, you should promo my channel, I tend to just ignore it because I don't have like a really nice, polite, professional way of saying that your channel isn't that interesting or unique and you need to make more content before I can do any promoting for you. The Blazer Gamers asks, why don't you ever show your face? Okay. Nathaniel Bailey says, hey Drac, I have a simple question for you. Q&A, do the rings from the Xiphun Ring Blaster work with the original Koosh Vortex blasters? They do not. I don't think. Moises Kalina asks, why don't I show my face? Done. Okay, so this one's a long one from Cindy. Cindy says, how are you so good at modding? The answer is practice. She says, you make it look super easy. Just dump the plastic shell out of the blaster, sand it, remember exactly where they go. I don't know how you do it. Does it take years of experience? Do you remember most in-strike and vintage internals by heart? I don't know how you do it. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. And then she tells me to have a nice day, so that's really sweet. The answer to this question is really, really simple and straightforward. If you do something long enough, you find patterns in it, and you practice it long enough, and then you become really good at it, and that's just kind of how it works. Also, Cindy, one small piece of advice. Your entire email is in the subject line of your email, and the body of your email is empty. So I got an empty email with a paragraph in the subject line. I don't even know how you got your email client to send that. So that's impressive, but you might want to reformat that for later use. Anyway, we have, what do you think the average 12-year-old Nerfer could buy for me? Whatever they want to buy for me. It depends on how hard they work, if they have a job, and like what they want from me. I don't think age has anything to do with economic status. Justin Cooper says, I would like to know what you think of the entire line of Nerf blasters for just females. So you were talking about the Rebel line. The Rebel line is super sexist, but even though it's really sexist and kind of insulting to female Nerfers, it is a really good thing for the community. We need more female Nerfers participating in Humans vs. Zombies at the college level. We need more Nerfers of all ages coming to Nerf Wars. Female Nerfers are very rare. The current Draculina is a very big minority in that when we go to Nerf Wars, she's usually like the only or one of 2 girls on the field. That's really upsetting because girls are really good at sports and they're just as fast and lean and good at making blasters as we are, so there's no reason that they can't be nerfing. So they should nerf. It's a great hobby and it's fun for all ages and engineering levels of proficiency, etc. So I think that the Rebel series is a good kind of gateway for more female nerfers in the community, and I think that that is sweet. I think that the blaster line is kind of like okay. A lot of parts of it are just reshelled versions of other blasters, which is sweet. I like the hammer shot version in the Rebel line. It's cool. It has a much better shell for like a sci-fi mod. So like if I ever make Malcolm Reynolds' pistol from Firefly, I will do that with the Rebel version of the hammer shot. Oh, thank you. So I got a refill while we were cooling down the goggles. Andu Majorni says, what kind of engineering are you studying? I'm studying Compi, but I do a lot of work with the ME Studio. Which Halo game is your favorite? Easily Combat Evolved. Who is your favorite Firefly character? That one again is hands down Mal Reynolds. I guess I identify strongly with the character, take that as whatever you will, and because of that I really like his character. He's very well written, he's very well portrayed, and I think that he's just a really strong character. Why isn't Pluto a planet anymore? I don't know, man, and it bothers me. It keeps me up at night. Pluto is totally a planet. I don't care what or why they say it is, but like, when I was growing up, Pluto was a planet. My star charts have Pluto as a planet, Pluto is a planet. Astronomy be damned. If you had one piece of advice for a younger engineering student, what would it be? Don't quit. I see 80% of every up-and-coming freshman engineering class at my university just drop out, and they either quit or transfer out. So, like, don't get discouraged. Work really hard. Be passionate about what you're studying. Don't just do it for, like, the money. Like, you really have to be interested in it or you won't make it, and then don't quit. Okay, so Lord Drac. Wow, you made an entire email. Alright, so this one's funny. It's the last email. So that's kind of cool, which means it's the most recent one. It's 4 days ago. And the email address is drac.who-was-that-girl-in-your-video@gmail.com, which is funny. It says, Drac, who was that girl in your Centurion versus the Z-Tech Bow video? Why did you break up with your girlfriend? Will you ever show your face? No. And this is, I guess, a fine lead-in to what I wanted to talk about at the end of my video. So I'm going to take a sip of this, and then we'll dig into relationships, which is certainly not something that belongs on a Nerf channel, but I get 10 questions a day about it, and it's nice to finally cover it. Alright, so first off, the Draculina is what I call my current girlfriend. So, whoever my significant other is at the time, that is the Draculina. So, the girl who currently runs the channel, Lady Draculina 0, is not actually the Draculina. Surprise. I dated her for 2 years, and our lives moved in very separate directions. That's what happens when one person continues to progress forward through life and one person stands still. You grow apart, and then you have to kind of move in separate directions with your life. And it's hard, and it's painful, and it's tough, but sometimes that happens, and it's okay, because you get to, like, evolve as a person, and ultimately you should be richer for the experience, which I guess is my big relationship spiel on advice. But the girl in the Centurion versus Z-Tech Bow video is the current Draculina. She is my new girlfriend, which is such a terrible label to put on something, like saying that she's my new girlfriend, which is ridiculous. I've been dating her for 7 months now, so she's not new by any means, and even when she was new, she wasn't my new girlfriend. There was like a 6-month gap between my relationships, because you need to, like, honor your relationship and give yourself time to heal and be ready to meet somebody new. But that's neither here nor there. Like, saying new girlfriend is like saying new car. Like, they're just people who are very important and special in your life, and so they should kind of be treated as such. So it's not like I upgraded or switched to a newer model or anything like that. I found a person who is a better fit for me in my life, and I care a great deal for her. She's very adventurous. She actually competes at Nerf Wars, and she's just really, really great. She fits in very well with my new life up in Atlanta and all of my friends and my very hectic traveling lifestyle, going all over the country for Magic tournaments and etc. And she's really talented and great, and I'm sure that she'll get a few spots and mentions in videos into the future, and she'll definitely be a big part of the Indianapolis video, because she's coming to alter at that event professionally in Indianapolis in a couple of weeks for the Star City thing. So I guess that is the explanation for the current Draculina status. So the old Draculina is obviously not Draculina anymore. She's just a girl. And the new Draculina is wonderful, and I'm looking forward to her being a part of my channel into the foreseeable future. So I guess that is my super unqualified, unprofessional way of explaining my relationship status, which is something I feel like I shouldn't have had to do for my Nerf channel, or even if it was like a This Is My Life vlogging channel. I feel like while it is an important part of my life who I'm currently seeing, it's not something that necessarily needs to be public or shared. I think that a lot of people in society, and especially like my kind of generation or one up or one down, have this misconception that your relationship status is something that should be public and shared on Facebook and thrown in everybody's faces and really like out there. And I think that that misses the purpose of a relationship. A relationship should be a very private, personal thing that is between two people, and that's how I approach my relationships. And that's the same reason that like I don't show my face. I think that my personal life at least, should be very private, and it's just for me, and that's what makes it special. So I don't share a lot about it, but I don't think that I can continue to ignore the 10 emails I get a day about it, because it's really frustrating getting 10 emails a day that are like, why'd you break up, or who cheated on who, or whoa, 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 which isn't the case. Nothing bad happened in the relationship, just sometimes two people move in separate directions, and that's all there is to it. So that is the Q&A video. Let's try and cinch it and bring it back to a head. And alright, so I've gotten a lot of good suggestions, not all of which I've read in these emails, for what we should be doing for the contest that'll be upcoming. I have no idea what I'm going to give away, but I want to make something especially for that giveaway. And other than that, I really want people to start watching my Everyday Alchemy channels. If you play Magic, have a friend who knows how to play Magic, or interested in Magic, really anything like that, or you have the ability to promote, I would appreciate some sort of cross-promotion where you promote my Magic channel, because I'm really trying to get it off the ground. And as many of you are well aware, it is very hard to get any sort of public hub for knowledge up and off the ground and popular online. It's tough. So I'm working on Everyday Alchemy, I'm working on a blaster, I'm working on a couple of mod videos, and I have a review to put up for something neat that I found at Toys R Us recently, so I'll put that up in a few days. Of course, this video is probably going to take a day all in of itself just to process, because YouTube is terrible about processing HD content, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else. So that is the end of my Q&A. Thank you for all of your questions. If you took the time to draft out an email and send it to me, you're a real, passionate viewer, and you really care about my content, and I'd love to hear more about your opinions in the comment section below. If this video didn't answer your question, maybe I can get to it in the comment section below. Again, no promises, but if you sat all the way through this video, you can tag something quirky into your comment to let me know, because I'll definitely be more inclined to read your comment if you watched an entire video that I'm almost certain at this point is over an hour long. But thank you for your viewership. Thanks for watching. I don't say it at the end of every video because it's comfortable and it's easy. I say it at the end of every video because I legitimately cherish your viewership and what you've given me in your viewership and this community. I think it's really great, and what we've established here is just awesome. So as always, this is Drac. Thanks for watching.